Welcome back to the Sports Max Zone, and it's time to talk some cricket. West Indies women have one eye on a semi-final place at the ICC World Cup in New Zealand after a narrow 4-run win over Bangladesh at the Bay Oval on Thursday. Batting first, the Windies laboured to 140 from their 50 overs. They then dismissed Bangladesh for 136. Gerard Morrisili has a match recap.
West Indies were sent into bat in their first ever women's ODI against Bangladesh. The Caribbean women starting as favourites with ace players Deandra Dottin and Hayley Matthews making watchful starts. They couldn't produce a match-defining opening stand though. Dottin was the first to go, caught behind for just 17. Matthews didn't last long either, thanks to a stunning catch at short mid wicket by skipper Sultana Jyoti. West Indies 40 for 2 at that stage. The Windies women found themselves in more trouble when captain Stephanie Taylor was knocked over by Nahida Akhtar for just 4. Rashada Williams struggled to get the ball off the square, eventually providing an easy catch at point. West Indies 40 for 4. The Caribbean women struggled against the Bangladeshi spinners, scoring just 76 off 34 overs for the loss of 5 wickets. It put Bangladesh in a commanding position, and at one stage it appeared the Windies might not even get to 100. But for the second time this tournament, Guyanese Maine Campbell came to the rescue.
Campbell breaks the shackles. It's a rare boundary.
The right-hander striking 5 fours in her 107 ball 53.
Right through the legs and away to the boundary for 4. Timed it very well.
And the last couple of overs have gone West Indies' way.
Campbell's second half century of the tournament coming up in the final over as the Windies posted 140 for 9 from their 50 overs.
For Shemaine Campbell.
Player of the match Matthews immediately got to work with the ball.
Is it high enough? I think that's a good shout.
Picking up the first 2 wickets.
Gone. Just fended it one outside the line of off stump.
Bangladesh seemed to have recovered and cruising to victory, but leg spinner Afi Fletcher disrupted the flow of their innings.
That celebration.
Fletcher picked up 3 quick wickets to finish with figures of 3 for 29. Bangladesh in serious trouble at 60 for 5. Matthews cleaned up Fahima Khatun to claim her 4th, ending with 4 for 15 from 10. With Bangladesh needing just 19 runs to win, Karishma Ramhara came up with a good running catch to put the Windies just 1 wicket away from victory. Captain Stephanie Taylor ending with 3 for 29 as the Windies claimed another fighting and crucial victory at the Bay Oval.
At Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui, and that is a special win. It'll feel great. Feel for Bangladesh though. They have played their part in a fantastic game going down to the last.
Well, player of the match Hayley Matthews spoke to reporters after the game.
I think just looking at it, everyone would pretty much know we didn't get enough runs on the board. Definitely need to be doing better in that aspect, but at the same time, yeah, I think at that break, looking at the wicket, knowing that it was quite slow, was holding a bit of turn in it, we knew that we could have gone out there and defended the runs once we bowled the right areas. Keeping the stumps in play was very, very important, and yeah, I think we managed to do that quite well, but at the same time, we're definitely going to need to do better with the bat if we're going to have any chance at this World Cup.
West Indies are now 3rd on the table with 2 first-round matches remaining. Fazir Mohammed joins us now on the Sports Max Zone. Welcome, Faz.
Good to be on the show once again, Mariah.
All right, happy to be talking about a West Indies women win, Faz, especially because yesterday, what a close experience that would have been. Thankful for Shemaine Campbell and that 53 that she was able to put on the board.
Absolutely, and good to see other players making significant contributions. And it seems the pattern has been established for the West Indies in this World Cup. It's either a nerve-jangling victory by the 3 runs, 7 runs or 4 runs, or a heavy defeat, as we saw against India and Australia. But very importantly, the West Indies still remain on course for a semi-final spot. They play the bottom team, Pakistan, next, and then it's that encounter against the so far unbeaten South Africans. And as Hayley Matthews said correctly, Mariah, they need to do a lot better with the bat because they were really struggling against Bangladesh last night.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to spend some time talking about Shemaine Campbell's innings, Faz, because without her, the bowlers would have had nothing to come out there and do.
Absolutely, and that's why it's good to see other players making contributions. So we often find ourselves talking about either Deandra Dottin, Hayley Matthews at the top of the order, or indeed the captain Stephanie Taylor. But we've seen it already, as was been mentioned more than once. This is the second half century of the World Cup for a lot of these players who are very well established in the West Indies women's team. We haven't seen the sort of consistently high level of performance to make you feel comfortable that the West Indies are really clicking in every single department of the game. But it was good enough. It was just barely good enough. But a win is a win. And that's so very important for the West Indies.
Yeah, can you give your assessment on the performance of the bowlers? Stephanie getting 3, Afi Fletcher getting 3, and then Hayley Matthews, doing what she does best, being an excellent all-rounder and picking up 4 wickets also.
The important element in the women's game at this point, and especially given the relative inexperience of Bangladesh, is consistency. A good tight line, and again, because they don't have the physical strength to get the ball away unless it's slightly offline, down leg side, or maybe a bit of outside edge, pass slip, and you're always going to be in the game. And indeed, Hayley Matthews has shown that already. She's very effective with her off spin, and indeed, Afi Fletcher, and with those special celebrations, we're sending a pretended message to her child, which is very exciting, of course, for everyone who's following the it really is a situation where the bowlers have pulled the West Indies out of the fire yet again. And once more, it may not be spectacular bowling, raw pace or anything like that, but in the women's game, especially against a relatively inexperienced team, consistency in line and length, bowling between wicket and wicket, will usually get you the right results.
Yeah, and Faz, it would be a good plan, won't it be, for the West Indies girls to win against both Pakistan and South Africa, because their net run rate is the worst of all the top flight teams in the standings at the moment, 0.93 something. So, if net run rate decides the 4th and 3rd place teams to go through to the semis, the West Indies won't be in a good spot.
That is correct, and that's why I mentioned that earlier. When the West Indies have won, they've won narrowly, which means that their net run rate would not have improved significantly. But when they've lost, as against India and Australia, they've lost heavily. So that would have impacted in the wrong direction on their net run rate. So they can't afford to. I don't think anyone in the West Indies team set up on the field or off the field are in any mood to relax, because they are not playing their best game right now. It's been good enough to earn the victory against Bangladesh, and they can't take Pakistan lightly, even though Pakistan are at the bottom of the table, because Pakistan will obviously want to be spoilers at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, Faz, how do you assess Stephanie Taylor's captaincy and, just her use of the bowlers, the field placements and everything?
Well, Stephanie Taylor is vastly experienced. She knows exactly what needs to be done. She's very calm about things. And again, bringing herself on towards the end, knowing that it was just about not doing anything spectacular, just being on target and showing that composure. She's taken over from Marissa Aguilera as West Indies captain for some 6 years now, almost 7 years. And we've seen the West Indies go through some very difficult periods. She herself would have had some challenges not so long ago when she had an issue with concussion. But it's very important that you have someone like a Stephanie Taylor on the field. More importantly, you need to see these senior players contributing with the bat. It's not going to be a situation where you can actually get to the semi-finals, win a semi-final, win the World Cup, and hope that a Shameen Campbell and others down the order can make that contribution. Yes, Stephanie Taylor is a reassuring presence on the field with bringing changes, but she has to produce with the bat, very importantly, if the West Indies are to go all the way.
Last question for you, Faz. Which is the best team you've seen up to this point in this World Cup?
Australia, easily. I think they've got all the tools, but again, when you get to a knockout stage, anything can happen. I think South Africa have been playing some really inspired cricket, and it really is about whoever gets into those top 4 positions, Joe, is basically saying, well, you start afresh, you start anew, because you can really upset the big dogs in the semi-finals and the final. But at the moment, Australia look almost unbeatable.
All right, Faz, well, thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have to continue talking West Indies cricket.